Where are we with people analytics? I remember, I think it was probably 5 years ago when I first helped Barry with chairing this conference, when it was actually in the Docklands, and Andrew Marriott, I think, who's sitting there, was my co-chair for that particular event. And people analytics was kind of this kind of cool thing on the edge and the periphery of HR. Some of you in this room were there because I recognise some of those familiar faces. We've made great leaps forward, I think, with people analytics over those 5 years. And this is from the Deloitte Global Human Capital Trends last year, where people data was ranked as the joint #1 trend. And for previous years, it had kind of been languishing around #7 or #8. Now, those of you that have already read the new Deloitte Global Human Capital Trends, which came out a couple of weeks ago, will see that people data isn't one of the trends. But actually, if you look at the trends, it's almost infused within each of the trends that have come out. And for me, that's a sign that people analytics has grown up. Because really, people analytics should be going across HR, not as a vertical. And there's trends there around employee experience, there's trends around diversity, and people analytics is a key element of pretty much all of those trends. So that's pretty good. So what does that mean? There's more companies doing people analytics now. So this is a survey the Corporate Research Forum did about a year and a half ago. They found that 69% of large organisations now have a people analytics team. And a large organisation from their survey was a company with 10,000 employees or more. So that's pretty significant. I think many of those companies have probably rebranded their HR reporting team and called it people analytics. And they're probably not necessarily really doing people analytics at the moment. But it does show that the ambition is certainly there. And actually, similarly, LinkedIn did a report last year, and they were looking at organisations broadly across the space. And they found that 22% of organisations were doing something around people analytics. So there's certainly been a significant growth. So more companies means more people. So that same LinkedIn report, this one was around EMEA. They found that there had been a 61% increase in people on LinkedIn who were citing people analytics or HR analytics as a skill in a 12-month period up to May 2018, which is quite significant. They ran other regional reports for APAC and North America, and they ran those over a 5-year period, and they saw a similar level of growth in terms of the number of people who actually had these skills and are working in people analytics teams. And also more need, as my voice starts to go. So I'm working at Insight 222, and we have our website is My HR Future, which is a blog, and please feel free to read some of the material on there. We ran some research onto the HR skills of the future. And this was a survey that was responded to by around, I think it was close to 500 HR professionals, HR leaders, people analytics professionals. And one of the questions we ask is, what is the one skill that you would like to learn in 2019? And people analytics came out top. So the demand is there as well. And you know, HR professionals and people that want to get into a people analytics role want to understand more about our space. So this is good stuff. And you can download the report there for free as well if you'd like to. I'm not going to go into all of this, but these were the key takeaways from the PAFOW conference in San Francisco at the end of January. And I think we'll see a lot of this coming out over the next 2 days. I think as people analytics has grown up, we're seeing now that their real drive to make sure that we're connecting properly with the C-suite, that we're actually solving business problems, but also measuring the impact of our work as well, and actually helping inform strategy, support workforce planning and workforce for the future, or skills for the future, as we're seeing. We'll certainly see a lot, and we've got a track on it as well, how people analytics is helping to support and enhance the employee experience. And that's obviously a big trend that we're seeing. I think employee experience might be the most overused phrase currently in HR. Maybe agile is maybe it is. We're also seeing a lot of drive to develop a data-driven culture. So I think one of the big challenges that I see, and we've got a panel on it tomorrow, I think, in the leadership track. One of the biggest challenges that I see when I speak to people in people analytics roles and leading people analytics teams is to trying to get that data-driven culture, not just within the HR community and the HR business partner community, but in the business as well, to actually have that demand for some of the insights that we can bring. And actually the theme of the conference is people data for good. You know, we've got an immensely powerful and responsible position really with people analytics. We're actually looking at workforce data. And we have a responsibility to make sure that we're doing that properly and with care and giving benefit to the workforce in the same case. And we'll see plenty of examples. We've got a panel around the whole trust situation at the end of today as well. So lastly, before I introduce Al, I have a drink of water to sort my voice out. So what we've created is a free, my colleagues at Insights Institute have created a free survey. It's partly based on the model that Jonathan Ferrara, and who's going to speak about this tomorrow afternoon actually, the 9 dimensions for excellence in people analytics, which is something that we created for our members. But what we wanted to do is create a lighter version for everyone in the room really who wanted to complete it. It's 7 questions, it takes about 5 minutes, and you can get access to the report. And yeah, it might give you some interesting things to take back into the office. So that's free. So I'll leave that up there while I'll invite Al to the stage. So Al and I have known each other for around 4 or 5 years now. I think we first met properly, I think, at a session that you were facilitating at Unilever.
Yes.
Back in 2015, just before I joined IBM, actually. And since then, we've started partnering on PAFOW.
We fell in love quickly, and here we are.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
and your voice is much better than mine. So Al has been working in the people analytics space since the early 2000s, which might make him one of the more experienced people in people analytics in the room and possibly in the world, I don't know. So you helped set up the people analytics function at Gap, was it called Talent Insights, I think, at the time. And PAFOW's actually been running since 2008?
Yes.
2008. So we had the 13th conference in San Francisco. So Al has got a lot of knowledge about the space, and he's going to impart some of that to you now. So Al, I will give you the clicker.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, David. Hey, David, thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with that.